All right, coming to you from Big 12 Football Media Days, joined by new Commissioner Bob Bowlsby. Bob, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Well, let's get right to it. Obviously, there's some big issues facing the conference. We won't waste your time, but can you give us an update on the television deal, the Tier 1 deal with ABC, ESPN? Why maybe it's playing out a little bit longer than we thought?
Well, it's got some moving parts. There isn't any doubt about that. We have 10 presidents and 10 general counsels and 10 athletic directors, all that have editorial veto power over it. Plus, we have 2 networks that are pretty strong-willed in their own way. But we have made a lot of progress. We had hoped to have it done before today, and we didn't for good reason. But I have no doubt that we're going to get a deal put together, and I think we'll have our grant of rights all finished up, and I feel very good about where we are. It's just got a lot of elements to it that need to be finalized.
How difficult was it to get the 13-year granting of rights? Because that obviously is the cement that holds the Big 12 together.
Well, I don't think you can put words on paper that necessarily bind people in perpetuity. I really think that as a conference office staff and as an aggregation of members, what we need to do together is we need to build things that will make it exciting and robust to stay, not penalize people for leaving. And we can do a lot better job of incentivizing and keeping people happy than we can of putting words on paper that keep people from not being happy. So the grant of rights helps to do that. We are going to be in business together going forward. That's essentially what that grant of rights says. We're in business together as a TV entity, as a bowl entity, and we're gonna be in business together through this period of time. And I think that if I do my job at the end of that contract and at the end of that grant of rights, we will be stronger, not weaker than we were before, and that's the aspiration.
You told everyone you're not sure you'd even get 2 votes for expansion right now, but Notre Dame is certainly the name that is on sort of the minds of everyone as they contemplate whether to keep their non-football sports in the Big East or move them out. Can you address why you think Notre Dame might be a good fit in the Big 12? Are you actively recruiting them? Can you discuss that?
I cannot, but Notre Dame certainly has the kind of cachet that would be advantageous to our league, and we want it to be a high bar. If we're going to talk about bringing some other institutions in, whether it be one or more than one, it's going to have to be a high bar. We want institutions to join us that are going to clearly help us move our agenda forward and move the collective body forward. And whether it's Notre Dame or somebody else, it needs to be a high bar, and there needs to be an obvious manner in which they make us better.
Can it work with a school that would not be a football member?
Well, I'm not going to speculate on whether they'd be a football member or wouldn't be a football member, or whether they're even in the mix. I just think we need to make an assessment of what it takes to move the needle for us, and that may be different things at different times.
When you look at the future of the Big 12, 5 years from now, what do you want people to be saying about this conference?
I want them to be saying that it's the greatest conference in collegiate athletics at the time.
And as far as the Champions Bowl, this is not insignificant, this pairing with the Southeastern Conference. Why is this significant? Obviously the money will be there and the television partners and that, but why is this so significant for the Big 12?
Well, I think it allows us to compete at the very highest level of competition. I think it also puts us on an even playing field with the Rose Bowl and the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. It's certainly going to give us a platform on New Year's Day that is significant. I think that's the greatest thing about the playoff process is that we're going to recapture New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and it really is going to be a celebration of football. And the fact that we're going to be at the table early and often is a great thing for our league, and I just think the sky's the limit. It's easy to forget that even during a period of great turmoil, our league had terrific success over the last 24 months.
And there would be nothing in that agreement that would stipulate that the Big 12 has to be at 12 or have a conference title game, right?
There is no stipulation like that. Of course, it's one of the great ironies in college athletics that the Big 12 has 10 and the Big 10 has 12. But that notwithstanding, we like the number. There's nothing in the Champions Bowl that says we have to play a postseason playoff or that we have to get to 12.
And Bob's last thing, the Big 12 had a perception problem. Obviously, the last 2 summers, it nearly came apart. Texas seen as sort of the big bully in the room. How do you work through those relationships so that everybody feels involved, included? I know there were problems with the relationship or the perceived relationship between Texas and ESPN, and whether the commissioner's office was patrolling that enough, or how do you address the getting everyone on the same page and not having haves and have-nots in this conference?
Well, I asked some of those questions during the interview process, and President Powers was in the interview, and he made it quite clear, and DeLoss Dodds has made it quite clear that they're prepared to do things that are not necessarily in Texas's best interest for the good of the league, and that's what we need to ask every last institution to do. We all work together. Some institutions have more advantages than others. Some have more opportunities than others. It's our responsibility in the conference office to make things just as fair as we possibly can, realizing that all 10 institutions aren't exactly the same and aren't exactly the same endowed. So we have put in place equal revenue sharing. We've got round-robin scheduling. Both are great sources of strength and stability. And the new contracts for the games and for TV are going to just continue to move us in that direction. And Texas is always going to be a wonderful school. Oklahoma is always going to be a wonderful school with great athletics programs in both cases. And do I view our league as the Big 2 and the other 8? No, I don't view it that way at all. I think we're all in it to be better than we could be by ourselves.
You'd be surprised if the Big 12 is at 12 anytime soon?
I don't believe that we'll add schools anytime soon, but any conference and any conference commissioner that's not keeping expansion somewhere on their dashboard is asleep at the switch.
Bob, really appreciate it. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Good to be with you.